Can I join with William in welcoming everyone to the launch of our manifesto, and in his thanks to Wrightbus for allowing us to use this facility. Of course, Wrightbus is at the cutting edge of transportation, not just in Northern Ireland or the United Kingdom, but across the world. I recall a visit to Hong Kong, where I went to the bus depot at the centre to see Wrightbus going out of the depot and coming in. The bus that you see behind me is the London bus, the Route Master. It's on its way to Westminster, and we've got a lot of people looking forward to getting on it and making their way there. Since political manifestos were first published, politicians have distributed them in order to persuade, to entice, and to delight voters with their party's vision and future plans. It makes sense for a party that has the potential to form a government to compile a detailed manifesto that specifies an affordable, costed, and independently verified set of proposals that would become their programme for government. However, for parties that are only likely to enter Parliament with a small group of MPs, care needs to be taken to ensure that manifestos are grounded in reality. Otherwise, they can become a deception and a distraction. It would be very easy to offer extravagant and demonstrably unaffordable and unachievable proposals to garner some extra votes, especially when those who issue them will never be required to deliver them. But such a course would be an irresponsible and cruel ruse. That's not to say that parties shouldn't advocate change or propose ambitious objectives, but it is to say that they shouldn't pretend that they can achieve those objectives as soon as the election is over. So I want to start by stating the glaringly obvious. The DUP will not form the next government of the United Kingdom. Indeed, we will not form any part of the next government of the United Kingdom. I have listened to party leaders over the last few weeks that lead parties that had fewer MPs than my own in the last Parliament, and who all the pollsters consider will return with fewer MPs than the DUP. And they're talking as if they're going to be running the country after the election campaign is over. That attitude, in my view, lacks credibility. So let me outline my approach. I hardly need to say again, but it seems almost certain, that no single party will be able to command a majority in the House of Commons. That means that our MPs will matter like never before. However, examine it whatever way you might, and at the end of the day, it will be either the manifesto of the Labour Party or the Conservative Party that will become the substance and core of the next Queen's Speech and government programme. Yes, if there is need for additional support from smaller parties, either or both of the two main parties will be willing to strengthen, dilute, add to or take away from their programme proposals in order to win additional voting support. However, for any smaller party to gain the support of the next government for its proposals will require that party to also support the policies of the main government party. Therefore, when the DUP puts forward its proposal to the Northern Ireland electorate, it does so honestly by making it clear that it is in that context that Northern Ireland can benefit after the election. Locally, only the DUP are big enough and strong enough to negotiate for Northern Ireland. Sinn Féin don't go to Westminster. The SDLP are already committed to the Labour Party and therefore have no leverage. And all the other parties and independents, even if returned, would be too small to matter. It would be a great tragedy and a wasted opportunity if through split votes and spoiler candidates the chance was lost to make that very real impact. Already, I'm glad to say, on the doorsteps, we're finding people who don't normally vote DUP saying that they'll lend us their support at this election to get the best deal for Northern Ireland. And we'll do our best to ensure that Northern Ireland is put to the forefront and that we also do the right thing for the United Kingdom as a whole. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for Northern Ireland. That's why, rather than waiting until after the election to say what it is that we will be seeking from any incoming government, we have already published our agenda. A few weeks ago, the Northern Ireland Plan was launched. It's our basis for discussions with other parties after the election, and today we launch our manifesto, which has the Northern Ireland Plan at its heart. Our five-point plan is to make Northern Ireland an economic powerhouse again, deliver world-class public services for our people, create a society based on fairness and opportunity for everyone, make politics and government work better here in Northern Ireland, strengthen the United Kingdom, and protect and enhance our British identity. In addition, there details 100 action points in that plan, 45 for Westminster and 55 to be taken forward here in Northern Ireland to help transform our society. I believe that the vast majority of these can command support from right across the community here in Northern Ireland. We're realistic enough to know that we will not be in a position to deliver in every one of the 45 action points from Westminster, but we will require substantial progress against each of these 5 points in our plan. It will be the electoral arithmetic that will dictate the level of influence that we will have in the new Parliament. But any party that would wish to rely upon our support will need to set how they would address our concerns and our requirements. We will respect the decision of the British electorate by speaking first to the party with the largest number of members of Parliament. Now, the national broadcasters conspired to exclude the DUP from the leaders' television debates. At the same time, they were content to invite 3 parties to take place in the debates, even though collectively those parties had fewer MPs in the last Parliament than the DUP. And based on polling predictions, those parties will return with fewer MPs than the Democratic Unionist Party after this election. Consequently, there are many across this kingdom who do not appreciate our position. The DUP is a Unionist Party, committed to act in the best interests of the United Kingdom, but with a particular mandate in Northern Ireland. No part of our outlook consists of freeloading at the expense of our fellow citizens across Britain. We want Northern Ireland to play a full part in our nation's affairs and contribute a fair share to our nation's economy. We have emerged from a long and destructive conflict, but we emerge with great hope for the future. Northern Ireland is catching up for lost years and recognises that there has to be support to rebalance and to rebuild our local economy. But the signs are good. We have succeeded bringing in more foreign investment into Northern Ireland than at any time in our country's existence. And we have brought in more jobs in relation to our population size than any other part of the United Kingdom, including London and the prosperous South East. The Northern Ireland we seek to build is one that will be an economic powerhouse and a beacon of prosperity. We only ask that our government, whatever its colour, will work with us and help us to deliver on this vision. I hope that the publication of our manifesto, including the Northern Ireland Plan, can assist the wider public to understand our approach. These documents represent the extent and scope of the issues that we will seek to negotiate upon. At the heart of our manifesto is the economy. The Democratic Unionist Party was instrumental in making the growth of our economy the #1 priority for the Northern Ireland Executive. In our manifesto, we set out the policies that we believe can assist both at a local and a national level to reward workers and to build businesses. We want tax policy improvements to encourage economic growth. We want to take more people out of income tax by supporting the personal allowance being raised to at least £12,500 by the end of the next Parliament. We want to see the value of the national minimum wage being restored by above inflation increases over the next 5 years. And we'll oppose any increase in the rate of VAT, and we want to see a reduction in VAT in the hospitality sector. We want to boost the peripheral areas of the United Kingdom, in particular, and the overall economy by abolishing air passenger duty. We want to help hard-working families by limiting the cost of childcare at 12% of family income. We oppose the introductions of mean testing for benefits for pensioners. And the Democratic Unionist Party wants greater investment in the drivers of growth, because this type of investment pays for itself over and over again. These policies will complement the specific proposals that we have in the Northern Ireland Plan for making Northern Ireland an economic powerhouse. From Westminster, we want more satisfactory terms in relation to corporation tax, the national debt and deficit addressed in a way that secures economic growth and long-term prosperity while protecting essential public services. Increased infrastructure investment to assist us in preparing Northern Ireland for the future. Help from the UK Government to market Northern Ireland internationally through its agencies and embassies across the world. Northern Ireland prominently incorporated into UK branding. Our proposals at a local and national level can help grow the economy and ensure that the benefits of prosperity are enjoyed across society and across the United Kingdom. Let me also clarify two simple points that seem to have been missed in the election coverage. Firstly, after the election, we're prepared to support either the Conservative Party or the Labour Party if the circumstances are right, or for that matter, support neither if the circumstances are wrong. And secondly, the price for DUP support in the new Parliament cannot simply be summarised and dismissed as more money for Northern Ireland. I believe that delivery of the Northern Ireland Plan can help redefine our place within the United Kingdom. So whilst we could well play a pivotal role in the next Parliament, we have a sense of perspective about our size and our capacity to dictate policy at a national level. And while our influence in the national context will be limited by our size and the wider post-election arithmetic, we would contend that whatever the final Commons headcount might be, we will be in a position to bring real and substantial change to Northern Ireland. We're not seeking places in Cabinet, nor do we want posts for ourselves. We are running in this election to get the best deal for Northern Ireland and the United Kingdom as a whole. No matter how good an election this is for us, we will have less than a dozen seats out of 650 in the next Parliament. In other words, we will have around 1/30 of the seats that will be held by the largest party in the House of Commons. Unlike our position in Northern Ireland in the Assembly, it will therefore not fall to us to compile the next budget. Therefore, it would be unwise and presumptuous for us to craft a balanced budget and pretend to people that there was the slightest chance of it being implemented. While we may have preferences across a wide range of national policy matters, it will be for any party or parties who wish to form a government to persuade and convince us to back their position. The Northern Ireland Plan sets out a detailed basis showing how our support can be won. The reality is that no party will be able to deliver its manifesto in full. Both the Labour and Conservative Party would have to do deals with other parties in order to be able to secure a majority in the House of Commons. We have stated previously that we have worked well in the past with both of these parties and will be open to supporting whichever party can best help us to deliver on our plan. We have already asked economists to compare the spending plans of the Labour and Conservative parties as they impact in Northern Ireland as set out in their manifestos. Remarkably, there is only a gap of £1 million by the end of this Parliament out of a £10 billion budget